Hi, I'm Esther. I'm a Christian. I have ADHD, and today I'm just going to talk about some simple things that I do so that it's a little bit easier for me to pray and feel closer to God, even when life's kind of crazy or I don't have the time to sit down and do a full Bible study or a prayer journal. And actually, this week, if you can't tell, my voice is really awful. I'm either, sick or have allergies, but either way, I've gotten super behind on laundry, doing the dishes, and just like basic household stuff. And that is all the more reason why these things I'm about to tell you are great ways to help you remember to pray, because they're all things that even when you let them get behind, you eventually have to do. So the things I'm about to tell you about are all things that are just prayers attached to places that you are gonna have to see, so it's a little bit easier to remember, and I think a little less annoying than setting alarms. I don't know about you, but I set alarms for everything all the time, and I get really sick of hearing alarms all day. So it's nice to have reminders to pray and to spend time with God that are not connected to like that. So anyway, without further ado, let me show you some places I put prayers. Okay, so first things first, I have my laundry room or my laundry closet. I just printed out a prayer for one of my friends so that I could pray specifically for things going on with her surgery. So every time I go to put laundry in the wash and I close this, I see that prayer and I can pause and pray that. And then moving over to my dishwasher, again, I have a prayer taped up here for one of my friends for her drive. And these are all just things that friends specifically asked me to pray for, and so I put them in places where I'll have to see them. And every time I close up my washer, I see my little paper and I can just read that. I think it's a little bit less stressful to pray if I have the whole prayer written out. I used to be really against written out prayers, but sometimes when I'm tired and I just cannot get my mind to focus on like what is that one word supposed to remind me of, I'll just read the prayer out loud. And even if I have to read it a couple of times until I'm like, yes, I'm actually talking to God, I believe that he's real and I'm asking for this thing. And of course, repetition doesn't make the prayer worth more, but it helps me actually mean it, Okay, let's see, where else do I have? A freezer. So in our freezer, we have our ice trays and our ice bin that obviously you have to refill pretty frequently. So I normally tape a prayer right here. It's off right now because that's a private prayer that I'm not going to share on the internet, but I can see this every single time I refill ice and just read through it and pray it. Okay, I'm going to take you to my desk at my work so that you can kind of see what I also do day to day for keeping on top of just some little tiny faith and prayer practices at work. So this is my desk, and I just have a tiny notebook here that I literally just write the date and then things that I'm thankful for. And I'll normally come over here and maybe while kids are reading or while they're working on something independently, I'll just try to think of one or two things that I can quickly write down in here. And the other thing that I'm trying to implement, that I'll see how that goes this year, but I'm trying to, when I'm at school during my plan period or right after school or right before school, anytime where I have an extended period of time, like 10 minutes, I will write down like a journal prompt a day. And for me, what that looks like is, well, on Thursdays, I've always done Thankful Thursdays. I write thank you to God specifically about every good thing that's happened since the last Thursday. And my weekly breakdown is Marriage Mondays, where I pray for people's marriages. Transformation Tuesday, which sounds kind of silly, but I needed something with a T, so I'll specifically pray for people to be saved. World Wednesday, where I'll pray for different countries or different parts of the world. I get emails every week asking for specific prayers for a group of missionaries in Niger, so I'll pray for that. But you can also look up a couple like global missions projects have like every single country listed with prayers that you can do for them. So I know like at one point I went through all the countries, one per week alphabetically, so that's another thing you could do. And then again, Thankful Thursdays. I have not come up with one for Friday or Saturday or Sunday, but normally on those days, it could either be a catch-up day because I'll inevitably miss some of those days, or I can just take a break or maybe read a book during that time or something else. And that's about all that I have right now. I would love to know if you have ways that you incorporate prayer or Bible verses in just like to day-to-day parts of your life, or if you do something else entirely. I love hearing more new things. I think that novelty and newness is a big part of like keeping things fresh and alive with your faith with ADHD. I don't think it's the end of the world to have routines. Like I have some pretty strong routines right now. But I think also adding in new things and switching them out for old things time and time again helps with me staying excited about things like that. So I would love to know your ideas. Okay, have a good day. Bye.